I am here having a conversation with Antoinette Nery, who is a female, a Garifuna female in the United States Army. So, good evening, Antoinette. What information can you give us? What stories can you share with us about being a female foremost in the United States Armed Forces?
Okay, well, first off, good evening. Um, so I go as Sergeant Nery in the Army, and my title is Automated Logistics Specialist. And basically, what that means is I do supply, and I basically give the Army whatever they need, whether it's fuel or medical supplies, whatever. Um, so being a female in the Army, it's a little tough. Only, and I say that because men do not like to take orders from females. So when I joined, I started off as a private and I worked my way up all the way up to sergeant. And what I realized is that they respect us, but not enough to take orders from us. So it's like now females have to work 3 times harder to prove that we can do the same job that they can do. And at first it's a little daunting, I was scared and I didn't know if I was ready for the job. But if you're willing to learn, if you're willing to learn how to lead, because you don't necessarily know how to lead automatically. I had to learn. So I'm watching the mentors that trained me, gave me advice, and I'm using that to train my soldiers, because now I have about 5 soldiers underneath me. And I use, I'm not going to say bad leaders, I'm going to say maybe not so competent leaders, and whatever they do bad, I use that as an example as what not to do, and that helps me. And I also get feedback from my soldiers. Hey, what could I do better? And you can't treat each soldier one way. Every soldier is different, and they respond better when you treat them as an individual, not as generic. So.
How many years have you been with the United States Army?
So actually, July 7th of this year makes 7 years. And I've deployed to Afghanistan in 2014 for about 10 months. What did I do over there? I was on a team called BCAT team, Base Closure Assessment Team. And what that is that we flew to other bases, we assessed what needed to be sent back to the main base, and we packed them on a Connex, which is like basically a big long cube, and that was shipped to the bigger bases such as Bagram or Kandahar. I drove forklifts, wretch, little small bobcats. It was fun.
Okay, do you mind telling the people who will be watching you how old you are?
I am 26. I started school 2009. I was at Pace University in Pleasantville, New York. And I believe 2 years after that, my mom told me, hey, I can't pay for your tuition, so you're gonna have to come back and work. So within that moment when my mom told me that, I took it upon myself to join the military. Also because my uncle, he gave me the option. He said, hey, maybe you can join the National Guard because it's reserved basically. Because my uncle, Theodore, he is active Army. So when he gave me that option and when he told me that they would pay for school, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I went for it, and that's exactly what happened. I went to basic training, I came back, and then I went to school and they started paying for it. And I recently just graduated. So this year in May. And it took quite some time, but when you want something, you go for it no matter what. When I came back from Pace University, I believe it was 2010-ish. 2011, I apologize. And I had worked 1 year and then went to basic training and then came back. It was too late to re-enroll into school, so I worked again for another 2 years. So I lost a lot of years. I'm not gonna say I lost, but I worked. I gained retail experience, customer service experience. And then after that, I deployed and I came back. Then I joined school in 2013 and then now I finished. So it was a journey, but it was well worth it. So it's pretty good.
You said you graduated this past May, and what is your major?
Medical laboratory science. So I will be a technologist in any laboratory in a hospital or a Quest diagnostic, anything that has to do with labs, analyzing body fluids, getting the results, running tests, working the machines. That's what I'll be doing. Right now I'm studying for the licensure exam, which is coming up in about 4 months. Once I get that license, I'll be able to work anywhere in New York or anywhere in America, in any hospital or any private lab.
And for all of us civilians, your profession, are you able to also utilize that within the Army?
Yes. It's only actually an active Army. It's actually 68 kilo, and it's a very good job. I wish they had it in the National Guard, but they don't. But I actually will prefer to do that in the civilian life, only because you get paid more in the civilian life. In the active Army, they only pay you as your rank. So there's certain jobs, or MOSs as the Army would call, that would be better in the military versus in your civilian life. So
let's go back to being a female in the military. You did say you have soldiers that are under you, right? Has anyone ever made you feel less because of being a woman?
Not necessarily my soldiers per se, but I've had my bosses, so people who I worked for, they would, be a little condescending or, talk down and make me feel this small. And I didn't like that at all. And instead of lashing out, which is what they expect you to do, they expect you to lash out, you have to hold your composure, hold your dignity, and then request to speak to them on the side. And then you talk to them and tell them how you feel. And honestly, sometimes it doesn't work because they had this mentality of what and how we should behave and what we should do and think, and it's very ignorant of them. But at least you took it upon yourself to try to change that person's perspective about you and about any other female in the military. And you tried to do something, and you did. You talked to that person. Whether they do it or not is on them. And the military has this equal opportunity sergeant, so that if there's an issue, you can go to that person. You can file a complaint. You can go to your chain of command, talk to the commander. You can have a mediator. So there's many different ways to handle that. Me personally, I like to go to the source and talk to that person who confronted me and made me feel bad about myself. And if you feel scared, then you can go the mediator route or make a complaint.
We have a lot of young women and men. We're gonna make this a little general, right? Who possibly are thinking of enlisting to the United States Army or any other branch of the United States Armed Forces, right? What message will you give these young people?
So, for those who are thinking about joining, you need to have the drive to do this. And it's not going to be easy, but it's worth it. There's so many benefits you can reap from joining. I personally recommend to go active Army because the benefits are greater than Reserve and National Guard. Like I said before, you need to have the drive, and you need to put yourself in a mindset where you will succeed no matter what. If you think positively, it will happen, and nothing can stop you. Literally, you will not see a ceiling. You will always keep going upward. I don't really know what else to say actually.
How about parents? The parents of those who are planning to enlist.
Okay, I know that there's some parents that are scared. Oh my God, war and stuff like that. And the one response I have to that is that your child is not going to be in war, and I only say that because if they do go to the war, it depends on their MOS, their job. So if your child goes to a recruitment office and they pass the ASVAB test, because that's what you need to do, you get a list of jobs. If they pick a combat job, they will be fighting in the war. If they pick a more practical job, such as supply, or a mechanic, or something that has nothing to do with combat, they will be fine. It's not really a bad thing. I did supply. I went for 10 months, and I didn't even touch my weapon. Like, the reason why the combat soldiers are there is because they're the ones who fight. And then if they enter the FOB, which is where we're stationed, it's called a forward operating base, then it's a little scary, but that's very highly unlikely. So it always depends on the job. The parents, I understand that you're going to be scared, letting your son or daughter make this decision, but ultimately it's up to them, and you're going to love them no matter what, and you're not going to stop them, or hopefully you don't stop them. You have to push them and stand behind them no matter what. Just like how my mom did. She was a little scared, but look at me now. I'm a sergeant now, and I'm able to help my mom, my family, do a whole bunch of things. So change is uncomfortable, but what my mom always told me, when God wants you to grow, he's going to make you uncomfortable.
That's a good way to put it. And what other message or information would you like people to get from you?
Well, if anyone has questions or any concerns or have any inquiries about joining the National Guard, Reserve, Active Army, Marine Corps, even Navy, let me know. I can probably point you to the right direction. I can give you some tips if you really want to do this. And I may not know all the answers, but I can find a way to get them for you.
So there's always a source.
Yes. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of places around here, recruitment offices. I can even go with you to the recruitment office, because sometimes they try to swindle you and scam you, and I don't want them to do that. So if you want me to go, I will give you my number. I will go with you. I will just be there for support. But if I feel like they're trying to, swindle you or scam you, don't worry, I'll be there. I'll make sure they won't do that, because I'm already in.
What else do we need to know about Sergeant Nery?
What else you need to know about me? I'm pretty much said everything already. I mean, I'm just a female trying to live my life.
So you are expecting to rank.
Oh, where?
Where? How far do you see yourself ranking with the military?
My goal is I want to become a warrant officer, and that surpasses, the regular officers. But I'm not sure. I'm actually debating. I don't know if I want to do 20 years. If I do 20 years, I get to retire. And it's just so much. And what I mean by so much is that when you go to a unit, it's, let me see, what's the word? It's a lot of personalities you have to deal with. So I don't know if I want to do that. Also, my job and interfering, once I start working with the degree that I already have, it's going to be a little difficult for me. And I don't know if I want to do it. So
you don't know where you're standing right now. Okay.
I'm leaning towards my civilian job, but I do want to retire in 20 years. I already did 7. My contract ends in 3 years. That's 10. That's halfway. I might as well just do the rest.
Just finish it.
Right. So, I mean, I keep saying I'm leaning to my civilian life, but if I already do 10, I might as well just do the next 10 because the years go by so quick, and it's also beneficial to me anyway. So why not, right?
Exactly. I think you should go for it. We want more leader women out there. Yes, we need, especially Garifuna women,
Yes.
women of color. So you represent so many women, women in general without having to talk about any borders, any countries, any nationalities.
Yes.
It's just a female out there doing a man's job.
Right.
So the men say, right? So you just prove them wrong.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Sergeant Nery, for this interview. I do hope that you do keep us informed every time you have an advancement out there, because I know something else will be coming your way. And I just want you to know that I am extremely proud of you and so many others that care for you, okay?
Thank you for having me, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk to all the women, men, parents, whoever's going to be listening to this. So call me. I'm here to help. Okay, I'll give my aunt my phone number and everything. So don't worry, I got you.
Thank you.
Of course.